Hello, everybody. My name is Kobe Warner. That's Kobewarner, honey. And this is koblizzy. That's Koblizzy. Z square, baby. It's a spelling bee. Welcome back to koblizzy. This is episode 60. Oh my gosh. Six tens. I was going to say six dozens, but that would be wrong. Six tens. Six groups of 10. 12 groups of 5. I've been doing this podcast since the summer of 2022, and I've definitely taken some weeks off, as you can tell. I should have more episodes if I had done one every week. But I digress. It's episode 60 that is amazing, and there is so much to talk about because it's really been a minute since I have filmed an episode of koblizzy because I was out of town for like almost 2 weeks combined in different places. And then I got home and I was recovering and I was kind of sick. I felt like shit, to put it plainly. I just felt terrible. And I don't know, now it's the last day of March is when I'm filming this. And I feel like the year is flying. I'm going to be 22 in June. I don't know. I'm kind of disoriented right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm making a lot of music. Exciting things are happening soon. And so it's an exciting time. It's a fun time. It's exhilarating, but it's a time of growth and learning and determination and hopefully consistency. That's what I lack with things in life. I'm not good at being consistent. This is a weird way to start the episode. I'm just talking. I don't know. There's a lot going on. And like I said, lots to talk about. I will get into the music of the week. I couldn't possibly say it's a song of the week. Because in the 3 weeks that I have not taped an episode, everybody and their mother is putting out music. Taylor Swift has an album coming out in like 3 weeks. And the music that's come out from A-list artists in the past month is nuts. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the artist... the know something we don't know. I don't know if everybody's just broke, but everybody's dropping music this year. Everybody's going on tour, and it's kind of crazy. It's just kind of nuts, like how active everybody is this year. I guess this is like the first time I think since the coronavirus pandemic hit into 2020, that there has been this much activity in the music industry. The past couple of years have not been this active. It's kind of crazy. And the pandemic hasn't really stopped. So I guess, I don't know, people are just getting better at pretending it's not there. So much to talk about. Like I said, I was out of town for 2 weeks. I went to Panama with my blood disorder association. And then me and my family tacked a couple of extra days on there. So we got to have like a little Panama vacation. It was beautiful in Panama City. We got to tour out. I went to the canal. It was awesome. And I got to spend time with my friends from my blood disorder association. I have a blood disorder called hereditary angioedema that is extraordinarily rare. The official term is ultra rare. 1 in 50,000 people have hereditary angioedema. And it's can be really scary, but there's a lot of therapies and treatments now that me and my family who suffer from this genetic blood disorder are fortunate enough to have access to. So I am a patient, but I am virtually unaffected by my symptoms most of the time thanks to treatment. So just an awareness moment, a little advocacy moment. I got to go to Panama with all of those people and all of my friends, with Allie and with Ray, Maddie, Tyler, Jack, and Noah, so many people, Luke, all these people that I've known for so many years. And it's cool to see them. Again, that's something else that's paused. Like the music industry, our hereditary angioedema, AJEA, our conferences or summits, as they call them, have paused for the past couple of years due to the pandemic. Our first one back in person that I attended was in Orlando in July over the summer when I was in Orlando working, actually, and then I got to go to the conference at the same time, and I got to see them then we got to go to Panama. It's a good time. Anyway, so HAEA, love those people, and I just wanted to mention them. That's why I was in Panama. Right before that, I was in Florida, in Orlando, because my cousin Kendra was getting married, which is so exciting. I went to another wedding over the summer where my other cousin Chase got married to a beautiful woman named Stephanie. 2 years ago in 2021, almost 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, I played like the piano and sang at my cousin Kennedy and Ian's wedding. I almost said Kendra again. Sorry, Kennedy. I sang at Kenny and Ian's wedding, and I love Kennedy. I love her so much, and that was such a special moment. And then a couple of years before that, in like 2016, so like 8 years ago, not a couple, when I was in 8th grade, my cousin Taylor got wedded. Wedding is what I said, but wedded also works. I was gonna say she got married, but I say all this to say that's every wedding I've ever been to in my life. 4. I guess like nobody gets married. People get divorced. They don't get married around here. Around here, we getting divorces, not marriages. So I've only been to 4 weddings. It's kind of nuts. So I was in Orlando for like 3 or 4 days to see all my family and to see Kendra get married, and it was such a lovely ceremony, and her husband Brian's really nice, and I enjoyed it a lot, and it was great to see all of my cousins in one place. Or not all of them, but a decent amount of them, and some other people. I love to meet people and love to meet new people, especially mutual friends, they're always a good time. And so, yeah, it was fun. And then right after that, we came home for one day, 24 hours, and then we went to Panama the next day. And it was actually a really short flight. It's just down over Florida, over Jamaica and the Bahamas, past the 9 degrees above the equator, Panama. And then we were in like Panama City, and we were like 30 minutes outside the city at like a beach resort. It was beautiful, and it was a wonderful time, and it was worth the sickness. And oh my God, over there, oh, by the way, they use American dollars because unofficially it's a colony. I think they call it a territory, but I'm not going to be candid. It's an American, they're under some sort of American jurisdiction. I don't really know all the nuances of it, but I learned a lot on the Panama Canal tour. Our guide was very informative and told us a lot. And so anyway, yeah, they use American dollars, which is kind of weird because it's not America, and it's also not close. I mean, like there's quite a distance. There's Jamaica and the Bahamas in between us, and then Panama, which somehow uses US dollars. Odd. But I say all this to say the US dollar has so much more value there. A gallon of gas was 95 cents at most, what I saw when we were driving around. 95 cents in US money. 95 cents. Gas is like $3 a gallon plus here. It was like $5 a couple of years ago. That's nuts. 95 cents. Everything was like so cheap. Like a little a White Claw would be like $1. Just like a free White Claw. And I'm like, here they charge like $3 or $4 or $5 for that. And everything was just so cheap. The alcohol was cheap. Every cocktail was like $5 at the hotel bar. And hotel bars are where they'd upcharge you. But at the pool bar, that was $5, $6, $7. And they would heavy-handed pour that shit. I was drunk off tequila the whole time. If I'm telling the truth, I was very lit. Yes, I was. I love tequila. Tequila is my friend. I don't like vodka. Tequila, though, we're cool. So a lot of music has come out, as I mentioned, in the past couple of weeks. It's kind of nuts. Like I said, don't know what's going on there. Maybe they are privy to some information we're not privy to. Like, baby, what do I not know? Maybe I need to start dropping all the songs I haven't put out just in case, like, the world explodes or something. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande. So I'm going to try again. Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande Butera. That album's fantastic. I don't know why I said her whole government name, but that album is, like, nutty fantastic. It came out on the 19th of March, I believe. And that's when I was in Florida, and I think, or maybe it came out right before. I think I was in Florida when it came out, and it was so good. It is so good, but upon first listen, I was like gooped and gagged, bewildered and bewildered. I was the goonery and the goopery of the situation was nonsensical and nullifiable. Saying words. It was nutty though, because Yes and was like a house track. Yes and it was so house. And then the album was just not, like, it was like so 2000s like pop R&B. It was, I don't know, it was such a surprise. It was a shock. But it's a really well done album. It's comprehensive. It's her first kind of concept album based on the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I still haven't seen it yet. It's in my watch list. My family and I are going to watch it soon. I'm excited to see what the hype is about. What does she like about this movie so much? I do love, I love the We Can't Be Friends music video. And because of that music video, I am familiar with the plot of the movie. And so I think I am looking forward to watching it. And I think I will like it. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, Eternal Sunshine. It's a great album. I'm not gonna go into depth with these albums. I might make like a separate episode about them at another time because today I'm talking about Cowboy Carter. Like no ifs, ands, buts. Cowboy Carter. It's Sunday, March 31st. Cowboy Carter came out on Friday, March 29th, and I have been listening to this album every moment of the day since it came out. There is something so nuts about Beyonce, and so that's what I'm going to be talking about exclusively. So I will circle back to Eternal Sunshine maybe next week, maybe in this episode, no promises, because I always say I'm going to talk about something later in the episode and then don't do it because I don't write a note and I'm forgetful. ADHD, to quote Renee Rapp. Anyway, so Casey Musgraves also put out a record called Deeper Well. I talked about Deeper Well, the single, when it came out, and the music video. It is amazing. I love it. I used to wake and bake, roll out of bed, hit the gravity bong that I made. I forgot the words for a second, but it's like so candid and funny, but it's like country. But she's been blackballed from country radio. So she's not properly supported by that industry. And we're going to talk, that's a motif for women in country, more so for black women. But in Casey Musgrave's case, it's because she supported gay people and talked about smoking weed. That is why they blackballed her from country radio about a decade ago, and they have not liked her since. But she did win Grammy Album of the Year in 2019 for Golden Hour. And all of her albums, I've said it before on the record, and you can go back and find it, whatever episode it's in. Maybe the country music episode that I posted like a couple of weeks ago. 2 episodes ago. Every album is a hit for me. Every single one. And I don't even know if I can say all the time. It's Same Trailer, Different Park, I think is the first one. And then Pageant Material. And then Golden Hour. And then the Divorce album. The Divorce album is called Star-Crossed, I think. And then this one, it's Deeper Well. I don't even like know the names. I just play, like I will type Casey Musgraves in the songs list of my Apple Music and I'll click shuffle and it'll play her whole discography and I'll just listen. And so some of the songs I don't even know the titles. I just know what it sounds like because I will listen to Casey Musgraves. Like it's something you can play anytime, all the time. She's just so good. And so I love Deeper Well. I honestly, being candid, have not listened to the whole thing like a bunch of times over because there's, like I said, so much going on. And so I've just been so obsessed with Ariana Grande's album up until Beyonce's album coming out that's really what I've been listening to mostly. And then baby, dun dun dun, Cowboy Carter knocked my boots off. I did not mean to peek the mic, but it knocked my mother effing boots off. Baby, Cowboy Carter. First of all, not what I thought it was going to be called. I thought it was going to be called Rodeo or Revolution or something of that nature. But I love the title Cowboy Carter. It does have a historical significance. Let me Google. Baby, let me consult Miss Google. Mix Google. She's non-binary. Mix Google. Cowboy Carter term meaning. It means Reggie. I can't find it. Okay, so it's been speculated. It's been speculated. I was about to say I'm JoJo Siwa, but that would be offensive, huh? I just don't like her, actually. Why was she talking about Maddie and McKenzie and Nia not coming? Asshole. Fans are speculating that Beyonce's Noel Carter... What am I talking about? Oh, the Cowboy Carter term. So, according to USA Today in 1927, this is on Complex, A.P. Carter, his wife Sarah, and his sister-in-law Maybelle, not Maybelline, not the makeup, Maybelle, journeyed from Maces Spring, Virginia to Bristol, Tennessee to audition in front of a record producer, Ralph Peer, at the Victor Talking Machine Company. That moment went down in history later as the Big Bang of commercial country. And that man was referred to, A.P. Carter, as Cowboy Carter. So Beyonce calling this Cowboy Carter album is not only a nod to her last name, her married name, but also to a historical term of the first contemporary country artist of whatever time that I was just reading about, 19 whatever I'd said. That's nuts, you guys. Like, it's nutty cuckoo. Nuts. And it's so cool that this is like Beyonce's legacy. I think something that's so interesting about Beyonce's career thus far is that, and I might have mentioned this before, you know I love this woman, but every time she branches out into an album that's rooted in a genre. I'm not going to say it's a genre. I'm not going to say Renaissance is a house album or that Cowboy Carter is a country album, because Beyonce herself says that these albums are experimental, they're referential, they are understanding the past, recognizing the present, and exploring what the future could be, what it might be, what it's going to be, honestly, because Beyonce's future that she envisions is on such a large scale platform. She sets the trends along with other people. She's one of the people that pushes the trends, that pushes things forward. And no matter how much silly stans on Twitter want to deny her impact, the receipts are present. And in the past 27, almost 28 years that Beyonce has been doing this, she has been changing the game almost effortlessly with almost every decision that she has ever made ever. Every single album that she has branched out into a genre that's rooted or something that's rooted in a genre, an album rooted in a genre, not necessarily confined to it, which is a theme she explores on Renaissance, that very idea. Not Renaissance, Act 2, Cowboy Carter. She explores the very idea with Linda Martell, a legendary country and also R&B soul artist, another black woman who broke down genre barriers in the music industry. And Beyonce, along with Linda Martell, convey the message that genre is palpable and malleable. You can reach out and touch it, and you can mold it, and you can bend it. You do not have to sit within parameters that have been set by who and be that. You can change it. You can reach out and touch it and push it. You can. And she does. But the thing about doing that is you have to do a good job. Otherwise, you've pushed the boundaries, and it was a nice shot, but you didn't do it. It was a nice shot, close but no cigar, you know? Beyonce, however, in my opinion, never has those moments. She will push the boundaries for herself as an artist. She will try new things and explore new things, and she will do a good job. And I can tell you why I think that is. I don't know the woman. I wish I did. and so I can't tell you why she does what she does or how she does it, but I can tell you how I think she accomplishes this. How does Beyonce transform? Before we talk about the album itself, Cowboy Carter, let's talk about how does Beyonce transform time and time again and do a good job every time. Transformation is not something that is unfamiliar to artistry, especially female artists in this current climate. If you've seen Taylor Swift's Miss Americana documentary on Netflix, she talks about how she feels that she has to transform every era, every album, and do something different. Otherwise, people are going to get tired of her. People are going to get bored. And she doesn't want her star to fade because she's resting on her laurels. And so she constantly changes what she does and pushes the boundary. And she talks about how men don't have to do this. Now, this is true for her. It's much more true for black women. There's another layer of, you're not just a woman, you're of color. And for some reason, there's nothing, besides trans people, there's nothing this country hates more than black people. And no matter how much they will gaslight you and tell you that racism is old news and that, oh, it was a long time ago, why don't you get over it? That very statement, or those very statements they're making, are informed by bias. They set on the foundation of systemic racism. And people don't understand that just because you're not outright racist, that you can have mindsets that are limited, that there is more to learn, that you have walked in a path that gives you a limited worldview. There's some things you don't understand, and there's some things you could be humble enough to sit down and open your ears to, or stand up after you listen and stand for. And that's another theme covered in Renaissance in the very first tract. And why do I keep saying fucking Renaissance? Cowboy Carter. The first track of Cowboy Carter is called American Requiem. And John Baptiste is a co-writer on that song. And in that song, him and Beyonce explore the theme of, do you hear me? Can you hear me? There's a lot of talking going on in here. And I think that this is in reference in Beyonce's heart to the CMAs when she performed Daddy Lessons with the Chicks, and it was not well received. Despite being the highest rated 15 minutes of all time in CMA's history, it was not a well received performance because people are racist. And I'm not going to mince my words here to make anybody comfortable. So if you don't like it, click off. Don't leave me a comment. But if you do, baby, be ready for that clap back. I'm like Nene. I don't read. No. I'm like Nene. I read. I don't fight. That would have been a lot more cunty and smooth if I could have said it right the first time. Would have been a lot more CUNTY. Would have had a lot more charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Oh my God, are you guys watching Drag Race this season? I'm a couple episodes behind, but it's really good. I feel like this is the first season in a while. I loved season 15. I liked season 14. I think the queens were great. I think the production was weird. Season 13, production was kind of weird, but the queens were great. The queens are always great. The production, sometimes I just feel is a little strange. But I'm really enjoying this season. That's all. So back to Beyonce. Back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me in the press the other day, Miley What's Good. And speaking of Miss MC, she is on Cowboy Carter with a duet singing To Most Wanted with Beyonce, and that was something that was very unexpected to me, along with the Post Malone duet Levi's Jeans, which I am obsessed with. Denim on, denim on, denim on, denim. Like, I don't think you guys understand how obsessed I am with Cowboy Carter. But back to exploring Beyonce's career. So what I was saying is that every genre Beyonce branches out into, she has planted the seed previously. Let me prove my point. So first of all, let's talk about Cowboy Carter, the current record. I wish I do. At first I stuttered and then I made a bit out of it. I feel like if I could just stutter and then not make a point of pointing it out, it would go so much more smooth. Because I'm not going to edit all them stutters out, baby. I'm real. Baby, I'm real. You see all these forehead wrinkles? I don't got no Botox yet. I'm real and I stutter. Real. I'm real, as they would say. RILL, as they would say in like Utah or like over there. Real. I'm real. I am real. I'm real. And so I don't know. I wish I could just stop pointing it out. That's a habit I need to break. It's a millennial tendency I have, and I'm not a millennial. I do not no shade millennials. Sorry if you're listening, but you guys as a whole are really like way too precious about your age generation. There is nothing cute about being 35. Like, I'm not being like, aging is beautiful. I'm just saying, like, why are you so precious? Why can't we be Gen Z? Like, I know some people on TikTok are annoying, but it's not Gen Z. It's really those kids that are younger than us. That new generation X or whatever the number is, or the letter, or the fuck ass whoever. Those are them TikTok iPad babies are ridiculous. Me, I was born early 2000s, and I did not have an iPad until I was like 10. So the first years of my life, I read books, okay? And after that, I did too. In fact, I didn't even have an iPad. I had a Kindle Fire, which was a book device. You could get a game on it, but it would crash when you played the game because it was meant to read books and be on Facebook. I digress. What the hell am I talking about? Miley Cyrus on Cowboy Carter. Beyonce's career, planting the seed. Cowboy Carter is an exploration of country music, but it's not just an exploration of country music, really of American music that black people have influence in. There's a little funk. There's a little rock and roll. There's a little Zydeco. There's so much happening, country and blues. It's there's like a gospel moment, gospel influences, gospel arrangements. In my opinion, it feels very gospel, the album pacing, and I think a lot of the harmonies feel very gospel too. And by the way, the vocal production is second to none. There's a lot of good vocal producers. Ariana Grande is one of them. Yeba is fantastic. But Beyonce's vocal production, I feel like we're not discussing this on the level and the platform that we should be. That lady is nutty poo-poo when she gets behind that microphone doing them layers. Like, what is happening, America? America has a problem. No. That actually is from Renaissance. Everything else I've said about Renaissance so far, I meant to say Cowboy Carter. But AHAP? America has a problem. AHAP? I'm trying to prop up. I probably got my Badusi out. I got to check myself. I'm trying to prop my leg up, and I ain't even got the viewfinder on because I try not to look at myself. You know, I like me a little too much. So what I was going to say, Cowboy Carter, all through American music history and all about music that black people have influenced in American history. Beyonce's very first single was a 70s influenced song called Work It Out, and it flopped on the charts. I think it's a fantastic song, but commercially it didn't do what they wanted it to do at the time. And so then they and it was for a movie in Austin Powers. They pivoted, and then she came up with Dangerously in Love and the traditional kind of R&B vibe. They had Crazy in Love, and that single blew up. And so everybody thinks Crazy in Love was her first song. Baby, no, it wasn't. It was Work It Out for the Austin Powers movie. And I feel like that's one song. Beyonce will let a song flop on the charts, and she will still perform it like it's a number one hit. Run the World, Girls from 4 was not a number one, but you think it is based on the amount of time she performed it. Everybody knows that song. So Beyonce kind of has rendered charts meaningless in that regard because she has not let it dictate the popularity of her music, because she will stand behind those songs no matter how the charts treat them. So she will perform Run the World at every award show despite it's number 20 on the chart. Do you know what I mean? And so she won't give up on it just because the audience does. And that's how it should be. You should stand behind art that is well thought out and that you worked hard on. And if it's full through and it's full through, like cooked all the way through, and it's well, not half baked is what I'm getting at. I'm stuttering like Joe Biden. I'm making controversial jokes today, but at least I don't have the dementia. So am I Bianca Del Rio now? I'm a insult comic. So Jesus, I'm like ADHD-S. This is what happens when I don't tape for 3 weeks. I like cannot stay on a straight line to save my shit at all. Let me take a sip of LaCroix. And a deep breath. And go. I feel that she's planted seeds. Work It Out is a 70 influence song that at the time did not do well. Work It Out could have been a little excerpt of one of these songs on this album. I'm just saying. When you think about the Afrobeats album that she made in 2018, I believe 2019, The Gift for the Lion King movie, but it's completely separate from the Lion King. She experimented with Afrobeats on her 2013-14 album, self-titled Beyoncé. When you think about her rap album, Everything Is Love with Jay-Z in 2018, she started experimenting with that rap kind of singing on B-Day, Ring the Alarm. I mean, there's so many songs that kind of have like a rap flow, but specifically on her self-titled album in 2013-14. When she did Renaissance, that house song, Baby Below, on the self-titled album, I feel like she had a plan to do all these different types of genre shifts throughout her career. And so she made like one song on one album a decade ago and tested out the waters to see if it was good. And every time it is, and every time it was. And so then she does the album. I just feel that everything has a motif. I feel that Beyonce she really is just so calculated. I don't mean that in a good, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's so just nothing is half-baked. Nothing is half-baked. This album, Cowboy Carter, was 5 years in the making. She started recording it in 2019. 2019 is what I just said. There's no T there. 19. 19. I put like double T's. Like it's 2019. I don't know why. See what I'm saying? You get obsessed with shit. Like, crazy bitch. Just get on with it. Move on. I rode out of bed this morning feeling brand new. New swing to this walk and a brand new attitude. I don't know how to explain it. Remix body chemistry, but I can't retain it. Gotta tell you what I see. I see my name in lights, and I'm a star. I know it's for me. My dreams are never far. I'm a bad bitch. I'm not average. I'm a savage, and I'm not capping. Back to Beyonce. Back to B. Have I mentioned everything on my list so far and I can get into Cowboy Carter? Yes, and I can. So, I loved Panama. I enjoyed the canal. I took some videos and shit there. That's all I was going to say about that. It was a great trip. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm going to get into the Cowboy Carter track list. Beyonce's just a smart woman. That's the only point I wanted to make. And then I busted out into something that you might hear a lot more of very soon. Very soon, baby. Cowboy Carter, American Requiem. This album is nuts. That's my favorite new word to say. Nuts. It's just nutty cuckoo. It's crazy pants and a half with a side of cherries. It's redonk. Speaking of donk, 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 donk. I'm not supposed to know that song. Parkwood, don't come for me. Don't I fantasize about it all the time. Speaking of other songs I'm not supposed to know. I'm so stupid when I have a file of Fantasize say, Ariana Grande, please don't sue me. I don't spread leaks. Fantasize is just so cunt. I'm sorry. It was so popular. So come for somebody else, please, not me. So I like to listen to Fantasize sometimes. And when Eternal Sunshine came out, I posted a screenshot of Fantasize on my private story. And I was like, oh my God, Eternal Sunshine is so good. Just being silly. But Eternal Sunshine really is so good. I wish she would put Fantasize on it, despite everything else and all the controversy and the fact that it had a gazillion million streams before it released. It still would have got a billion streams on Spotify. I kind of just wish she would have reclaimed it anyway. But she said it was a demo for a girl group and it wasn't supposed to be for her. So shit, I wish somebody else would put it out. Hello, get on it. Why are y'all not using that song? That's a hit. Like, put it out officially. American Requiem is the opening track of Cowboy Carter. Iconic, chic, slay. Lady Gaga reference. Speaking of Lady Gaga, she was supposed to be on this album for Telephone Part 2, and she was not. So that was one thing where I was like, whoa. But Miley Cyrus was here, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll live. I'll live. I will live. So American Requiem, John Baptiste worked on the song. For some reason, the official credits aren't out yet, so I can't tell you everybody that was on it. So I just know what I've read online. John Baptiste worked on it. I'm sure Dave Hamlin was on the organ in there. There's a lot of other people on that song, I'm sure, on the instrumentals, but I can't tell you who because I don't know who it is. Because the credits aren't out, I don't think. Let me check again. I've looked a million times. I was trying to wait to tape it until they put them out, to be honest. And I was also trying to wait for the second day Spotify numbers to come in because first day it got like 76 million streams, which was nuts. I did not think it was going to go that crazy. So I'm going to check again and see if those Spotify numbers are out. And so it's dead. I just got on Threads and somebody said Beyonce literally got a cool reception at an award show and was like, I'm coming for your genre. My God. Yeah, right. Next time y'all better clap when she tells you to. If you don't clap, she's going to come and steal all your number ones and break all your records and come win all your awards. The best revenge. She said the best revenge is your paper. And baby, even more so, the best revenge is the art that you make to make that paper. And the art that she makes is quality. Quality. Cute. Quality. So after American Requiem, fantastic album opener. There's so much to discuss, but I don't even know what to say. It's just, there's 27 songs. And some are interludes, but everything is good. So you have to talk about it all. There's so much to discuss. Track number 2 is a cover of Blackbird by the Beatles, featuring 4 black women country singers, Tanner Adel, Brittany Spencer, show me the rest, Tierra, show me the rest, Tierra Kennedy, and Raina Roberts. So Beyonce, Tanner Adel, Brittany Spencer, Tierra Kennedy, and Raina Roberts. And they're all singing on this song. And it's beautiful. The cover of Blackbird is beautiful. Beyonce's vocals. I love the way she emphasizes the T. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. That T specifically. You were only waiting. It's right on the beat. And I just like that she does that. That's the one thing that stuck out to me vocally that I enjoyed. And also, obviously, it's beautiful. I love the background vocals she added. The vocal arrangements started to really, American Requiem was beautiful, and it was very, kind of gospel, and it was kind of alt rock, and then it was kind of gospel, and then it was this. It's everything. I'm telling you, this album's so expansive in terms of genre. It pushes every boundary you could push. But with Blackbird, that's when I started to notice how, I'm like, wow, these vocal arrangements are sweeping. It's gorgeous. Track number 3 is 16 Carriages, which we know. It was one of the 2 singles along with Texas Hold'em. That is track number 7, but we will get there in all due time, my love. 16 Carriages, I like it more even within the context of the album, but I liked it to begin with. I think it's a song about, it's a country song. It's a song that talks about some sort of struggle, some sort of story, and how you overcome it or you don't, and maybe you have a longing, you're bitter. What is it? And country kind of fits that mold. It's storytelling. 16 Carriages is quintessential country, and I love it as a single and within the context of this album. Track number 4 is Protector, Beyonce and Rumi Carter, her sweet baby girl. That's one of the twins. And she says at the beginning, Mommy, can I please hear the lullaby? Or can I hear the lullaby again, please? Something like that. And Protector, again, quintessential country. It's a song about mothering. I will be your protector. I am your projector. It's beautiful. I think Protector is one of the most country songs in the album for me because the vocal We were dum 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 dum. I don't know the word. Dum 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 with choir singing. Very country melody in cadence. Very country. Very beautiful. My Rose is track number 5. It's an interlude, kind of. It's stunning. That's what I'm saying. These interludes will be 45 seconds of beautiful music and sweeping orchestra. I'm like, what is going on? My Rose is gorgeous. I don't even know kind of what the sound is or what it's really inspired by, but I really, really like it. And that's all I can say. It's very, very short, but it's great. Track number 6 is Smoke Hour, Willie Nelson. It's also an interlude. So this album is very cinematic. Some of the songs just, are there to contribute to the cinematic experience, the story, the oral experience, the aura, and the way, all the vibes are shifting and sounding and everything. Beyonce's great at transitions in studio albums and live albums all the time, in live shows, in documentaries and filmmaking. It's, she does her thing. So Texas Hold'em, I'm going to talk more about Willie Nelson on track 6. That interlude, Dolly Parton's an interlude later on the album. Beyonce also covers Jolene on this record. Beyonce was inspired to make this record because of her bad experience at the 2016. My stomach is growling. I'm hungry. Because of her bad experience at the 2016 CMA Awards, where she performed Daddy Lessons with the Chicks, and they were not well received by the famous people. The audience, I think, probably enjoyed it. But then they posted online, and the CMA was getting a lot of backlash because they're racist. Their audience is racist people. And so, unfortunately, they caved and took the performance down. But then they got a lot of heat for taking it down and caving because now you look racist too. So then they put it back up. But now you look like a PUSSY. You look like you have no balls. You look like you don't have any gusto or any strength, no backbone. Where's your spine? And that pissed Beyonce off. It pissed me off. It pissed her fans off. It pissed off black people. Like, you're a racist asshole. That whole base of fans and the whole situation. And so, Beyonce was inspired to make a country record. She started it very soon after that. In about 2019, we estimate. She says about 5 years, and you can do the math. And, wow. I mean, she experienced that blowback in real time in 2016 with making a single country song on an album that had no other country music on it, really. And one song was such a big deal. She wasn't allowed to be in the country category at the Grammys. It was just a whole ordeal. And to have that much blowback over one song, she was anticipating it with this record. She knew it would happen. So who did she call up? Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton. And she said, "You are icons." I don't know what she said, but this is me, my imagination. In my head, she's my friend, as Wendy Williams would say. You are icons, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton. You're both forward-thinking and open-minded, but you're country icons. Will you please co-sign my record and participate, lend your voice that's ever so recognizable and, ever present in the country community and in pop culture? Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton are undeniably icons and legend in country culture and pop culture and Americana culture. Will you please co-sign this record? And I have always loved Dolly Parton. My mom personally really loves Willie Nelson. My family loves Willie Nelson, but I really, really have a personal love for Dolly Parton. I'm looking at her on my wall right there and right there and right there. I love Dolly Parton. And so it makes me so, not that she's ever disappointed me before. She's always been on the right side of social issues. Despite remaining apolitical, Dolly Parton has always remained on the right side of social issues for me. And she funded a vaccine. Like, she is helping the world despite what the general country base thinks or feels, etc. And Republicans, to be clear, I'm not being candid today, nor am I mincing my words. I am stuttering though, so me and Joe Biden do have that in common. Democrats. I'm not a war criminal though. Just saying, I'm really gonna piss people off. Like, I'm just saying shit. I really need to think. You better think. Hey, Aretha, think about what you're trying to do to me. You better think. I wish I sounded good because I would sing more, but I don't, so I'm not. Meow. Somebody's gonna clip this and post this on TikTok, probably me, and be like, "Wow, bitch is losing it, incoherent." And I really have to get through this album. I'm just I don't know. It's One of those days, one of these nights. The Eagles. I love music. Can you tell? Every time I say something, it makes me think of a song. Even if it's not exactly the words from a song, I will think of a song. And I think my ADHD is here on full display today. Thank you, Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson, for disregarding what blowback he might receive and co-signing a legend in the making, a legend in her own right, in experimenting with a new genre and protecting her, offering her some sort of protection in the process. Beyonce anticipated the blowback, and they were willing to step in and be a part of this. I think that's a great way to put it. I don't want to like make them out to be some sort of white savior. Beyonce doesn't need saving. She could be just fine all by herself. She's never had protection before, and she's always been here, and she survived, and she keeps growing and persisting. But I just think it was really beautiful for those legends to be a part of that, and that's all I want to say. Texas Hold'em is track number 7. We know it. We love it. Or maybe you don't. Honestly, Texas Hold'em kind of has the hit effect where you hear it so many times it starts to get aggravating. And I don't mean it's not a good song. I just mean I've heard it so many times. I'm like, okay. Now that the album's come out, within the context of the album, I do like listening to it again. But for the past couple of weeks, I've been like, baby, I got to put it on hold for a second. It's getting on my nerves. And that's how you know you have a hit on your hands. Beyonce, you are a hit maker, despite what they say. They, you know who. Number 8 is Bodyguard. Another song on this album, quintessentially country. Well, actually, that's not true. It's not quintessentially country at all. It actually is kind of pushing the boundaries. It doesn't sound that country. I don't know what song I was thinking about when I said that. But it does kind of sound like Taylor Swift is on the background vocals, uncredited. And I feel like she is. And I would like somebody to confirm that because it really sounds like Taylor Swift to me. I like that song. The next song, speaking of Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, track number 9 is Dolly P. That is an interlude where Beyonce is welcomed. Her version of Jolene is welcomed by Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton says, "Hey, Miss Honeybee, it's Dolly P. You know that hussy with the good hair you sing about on fucking Sorry Better Call Becky with the good." That's cunt to have Dolly Parton say that. You know that hussy with the good hair you talking about, you sing about, reminded me of someone I knew back when. Except she had flaming locks of auburn hair. Bless her heart. Just a hair of different color, but it hurts just the same. And then it goes into Beyonce's version of Jolene, which is exceptional. Despite the controversy, I don't care. It's exceptional. And I love that Dolly Parton was there for this. Thank you, Dolly. And that's not her last feature on the album. We'll get to more Dolly in a second. More auditory vocal features. The next song is Daughter, track number 11. This is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Definitely top 3. I love Daughter. It's very good. And it, again, pushing the boundaries. Spaghetti is track number 12. This is one that features Linda Martell and Shabuzi. And Linda Martell says in the beginning, genre is a funny concept, isn't it? Ha ha ha. It can be confining to something of that nature. And then Spaghetti is fully not a traditional country song. It very much pushes the boundaries. Very punk, kind of edgy, kind of rock. And I like it. Track number 13, Alligator Tears, country. It's country. And then 14 is Smoke Hour 2, another interlude with Willie Nelson. And in this interlude, he says something that really reinforces the point I was making a few minutes ago, and it's kind of amazing. He says, "You're tuned in to KNTR Radio Texas, home of the real deal. If there's one thing you take away from my set today, let it be this. Sometimes you don't know what you like until someone you trust turns you on to some real good shit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm here." Up next on the Smoke Hour is Just for Fun by Beyonce, featuring Willie Jones. You're welcome. Sometimes you don't know what you like until someone you trust turns you on to some real good shit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm here. Willie Nelson, the fucking icon that you are. Oh my God. I love him for saying that. I love him. And then it goes into Just for Fun, a duet with Willie Jones. What's funny is at first I saw Willie Jones, I was like, who is that? And I looked him up. Baby, I used to watch American X Factor before it got canceled, like 2011, 12, and 13. He was on the X Factor. I watched him a decade ago, more than a decade ago, on the X Factor. And I remembered him once I saw his face. And he's on a Beyonce album now. Nuts. And if that's not nutty enough, the next song is Two Most Wanted with Miley effing Cyrus. Like, Beyonce really put her fucking pussy in this album. Like, this is crazy pants. It's so crazy. And then it goes from that. Just for Fun, Willie Jones. Two Most Wanted, Miley Cyrus. Levi's Jeans with Post Malone. I love this one. Denim on denim on denim. I love this song. It's such a vibe. So chill, so vibey. And Post Malone sounds really great. He sounds really great. Baby, you're my renaissance. He says that at one point. I love it. The next song, track number 18, is Flamenco. It's a shorter one. I think it's like a minute 19, a minute 30. It is fabulous. It might be like over half a minute. It's a minute and a half, over a minute and a half. It is so good. The drum beat is flamenco. The cha cha cha. The I don't know what makes the clapping little noise, but it's very flamenco in the percussion, and the song itself is beautiful and it's kind of haunting, kind of eerie. Track number 19 is the Linda Martell Show. That's another interlude featuring Linda Martell. So Linda Martell, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton are all icons and legends who were featured on 2 songs apiece. And Dolly Parton, in addition, got a song covered. Linda Martell welcomes you into this new era of country, right, for this album. And track 20, this is 19, the interlude, and then track 20 is Ya Ya. From there to the end, the last 8 songs are like new age country music. It's all very, very, very different for the most part. So Linda Martell introduces Ya Ya, and that is, I said the other Daughter was my favorite, but Ya Ya is my favorite. Daughter's like number 2 or 3. Ya Ya is fucking crazy. It is so good. It is so good. Ya 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 Ya. It's so musical and so upbeat and fun. That's gonna go down as a career best for Beyonce. That's gonna be one of her most iconic songs of all time. I put money on it. I put my name on it. I put koblizzy on it, baby. That is really iconic. I love Ya Ya. 21's an interlude. Oh Louisiana. Oh Louisiana. Oh Louisiana. Who originally sings that? Because it's their voice, I'm pretty sure. Like pitched up. Oh Louisiana. Who sings it? Chuck Berry, baby. It's Chuck Berry. It's a black country singer. I love her for referencing all these incredible artists. Number 22 is Desert Eagle. Got a funky, nasty ass bass line, and it's way too short. It's like a minute 20. I think that song is a minute 19. Like, make it longer, first of all, but the bass line is like, it's real gritty and gross. I love it. It's beautiful. 23, Riverdance is incredible. And guess who wrote on this song? Ray, who just won 6 Brit Awards and set the record for the most won in a night. Riverdance is really lovely, and it's kind of like dancey. It's kind of almost house reminiscent. Like we're going into the Renaissance kind of. And this album was originally supposed to come before Renaissance, and so I had a feeling maybe that was the idea. It transitioned into a more housey genre of Renaissance a little bit, but maybe not. I don't know. I love Riverdance though. It's a great song. Two Hands to Heaven's track 24, and it's also doom doom doom. I think that one's even 4 on the floor kind of. I'd have to play it, but I can't. I'll get copywritten. Beyonce, Parkway comes for people, and they come quick, baby. Two Hands to Heaven, I love it. Dance track, love it, love it, love it. My favorite, maybe number 3. So my top is Ya Ya. Number 2 is Daughter. Number 3 is Tyrant. It's Beyonce, but the intro is by none other than Miss Dolly Parton. That's her second auditory vocal sample feature. And I am obsessed with Tyrant. It's incredible. Tyrant. Every time I ride, it's so hood country. It's so new age country, so edgy. And so I just love that Dolly Parton has a sample on that. I'm looking at you, Dolly, on the wall. Track number 26 is another favorite for me. If there was more than 3 spaces in the top 3, it'd be here too. It might be here anyway. I don't know which one I would take out. Sweet Honey Buckin'. I think that's another one that's a career highlight for Beyonce. That song's fabulous, and it features Shabuzi. He does amazing work on both songs that he was on this album. He did a great job. And then it closes out with track number 27, Amen. Or as Beyonce says, because she's country, amen. Amen. That's what we say down here in Georgia, or she says in Texas. And Amen is Mercy on Me. I think it would have been called Mercy if it weren't the outro. It was like Mercy on Me, Mercy, Mercy on Me. And then it transitions back into something that's reminiscent of the very, very first intro track, American Requiem. And it goes back into those vocal licks, the same chord progression, the same kind of vocal thing. And then it goes, American Requiem, Amen, Amen, move, beep. And then it does this beep thing. And if you add I'm That Girl, which is the first track of Renaissance, after it transitions like seamlessly into I'm That Girl, in case you were curious. So yeah, Cowboy Quarter is remarkable. I think it's Beyonce's most like adventurous artistic experience. It's so unique and so different, so uncomparable. You can't compare it. It's kind of like unparalleled artistry. I've never heard anything like it before, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's stuck in my head. I've only been listening to it for like 48 hours, and I'm can't turn it off. So I'm sure I'm going to talk more about it in the next episode. And I'm happy I got to talk about it with you today. I'm happy I had to break it down in full. Like I said, I will probably discuss Ariana Grande's new record and Eternal Sunshine and Casey Musgrave's new record Deeper Well in the future. Casey Musgrave's after I listen to it more, and Ariana Grande after the episode's not already an hour long. I really enjoyed easing back into this blue chair, trying to get back into koblizzy. You know, it's been almost 3 weeks, and believe it or not, that's a long time when you have to sit down and talk for an hour straight. You start to you lose your bearings. You're like, wait, how do you keep your train of thought when you're unmedicated? And so, I really enjoyed this. This was episode 60. I wish I could keep the mic in my mouth like I'm supposed to. This was episode 60. I love making this podcast, and I don't intend to stop anytime soon. So for the time being, I will see you next time, and I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure it will be a fantastic time. I love you so much for listening or watching. If you're watching on Spotify or listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave some stars, leave a rating. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video and leave a comment. It helps so much. If you want to follow me on social media, my handle on Instagram and TikTok is @koblizzy. You can find all the rest of my information on my personal website. It's koblizzy.com. You know how to spell it, baby. That's KOBLIZZ to the Y. In the meantime, you can watch the rest of Koblizzy or listen to my music or go look at my beautiful portfolio pictures or, I don't know, read a book, touch some grass, go in the sun. I think I said that before. Maybe that's my outro now. Or maybe I'm just a repeater, an outfit repeater. I'm that, but maybe I'm also like a phrase repeater. Anyway, I love you guys. Just talking to talk. I'm a yapper and I keep peeking the microphone. I need to get a microphone stand again, maybe, but I just feel like that's like really restrictive. I like to move. I like to move it. That's my cue to stop this shit.